but really good arrows from me. And if he plays like anything else, like skeletons, I can go for a rage. He does. I'm gonna rage it. Perfect. And he pretty much lost his entire tower. Like, that's crazy. Like, what did he do wrong? What's up, everyone? It's Turkey here, and today I'm going to be playing the deck with the highest win rate inside of Clash Royale. You probably could have guessed it, but it's Goblin Giant Sparky. And if we take a quick look at Royal API, we can see this deck has a 66.2% win rate. The next closest deck with a 62.6% win rate, so almost a 4% difference between the 1 spot and the 2 spot. On top of it having the highest win rate, it is also the highest rated deck on Royal API right now, so you gotta try this deck. Is this deck perfect? No. Does it have bad matchups? Of course, but will you beat most of the players that you play with this deck? Absolutely. When I play this deck, I'm all gas, no breaks. You want to defend, but you don't want to over-defend. You usually take your opponent's tower with one big push. Evo Barbs and Evo Bats are really strong on defense and offense, and they really help carry this deck. So that's enough yapping for me. I'm going to get into some games and show you all how good this deck really is. Before we do that, I just want to say thank you to anyone that is still watching the video. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. It's completely free for you, but it helps me a ton. So I appreciate that, and let's get into the gameplay. Into our match here. Now, one thing that I will give as a pointer about this deck is you don't want to over-defend. Like, you'll notice this deck, like, there's no building, there's no, like, really cheap troops. So, oftentimes in, like, single elixir, you might struggle to defend, and then this deck really thrives in double elixir. So, I'm going to go ahead and drop my Sparky here, and if they pop the Little Prince ability, I might have to go for my Barbs, but that's fine with me because it's helping cycle to my... Yeah, okay, they do that, so I'm going to go like this. Sparky's going to take care of almost everything. And we had to spend a lot there. Like I said, defending in single elixir can be kind of tricky, but it is what it is. I'm going to try and catch him off guard here. I'm going to go for this rage. We don't quite. I was hoping he would drop like skeletons or something like that, but it's all good. Little Prince is actually going to clean all of this up. And we didn't necessarily get anything off of that push, but what we are doing is we're cycling to our Evo Bats and our Evolved Barbarians. So we're 1 Bats away from our evolution, and we'll have the Barbarians and cycle next. So I'm going to wait here and see if they do anything. You don't necessarily want to be making moves with this deck, but I'm going to do it just so I can cycle to my evolutions. I'm just going to chill here, let that cross the bridge, and then I'm going to play my goblins on it. Like this. And if he pops the ability, okay, he's going to be really aggressive. I'm going to Barbarians really low, mainly because I want the Little Prince to cross the bridge. Go like this, and we're gonna have a really nice counter push, honestly. Spear Goblin's gonna clean everything up, and I think he's gonna struggle to defend because he did spend a lot of elixir right there. And I'm gonna rage this up. I can, to be honest, and we're gonna take almost their entire tower. So I knew if he went for that Little Prince ability, it would be kind of an overcommitment. And Goblin Giant, such a good card because it does damage to the troops while it's attacking. It's like for only 1 more elixir than a normal giant. It also DPSs down their troops. So you'll notice when his Valkyrie crossed the bridge, most of its HP was already gone. I'm going to drop a Sparky in the back. We do have Evo Bats in hand, which is super awesome. Okay, he sets up for a defense. That makes sense to me. Goblin Giant in front here. Little Prince is in the opposite lane. I don't know if I agree with that. We're going to go like this, and my dude's going to lose his whole tower. There's nothing he can do about it. And then once he pops the ability, we're going to go for Bats of our own, take care of the Little Prince, and possibly threaten a 3 crown here. So really interesting deck. I mean, we're a few wins into a grand challenge, and I would expect my opponent to have maybe a more meta deck. But regardless, we absolutely outplayed them. It was really easy. I didn't have to do anything crazy. So good game to us, and I'll go ahead and catch you in the next one. I already know our next match here. So usually when I make videos on decks, it's like decks that I would recommend for like top ladder or, you know, at a high competitive level. And I think this deck is perfect for mid ladder or upper mid ladder or anything like that. You'll probably destroy your opponents. This is a deck that is so good for players that low-key don't know how to defend. I don't know a better way to say it, but this deck is really hard to defend properly. And I think that's why it has such a high win rate. Okay, I'm going to pop the ability here because I want to keep my Little Prince alive. And I'm just going to let this go. Yeah, that's going to DPS down the RG. And then his Little Prince is going into the Sparky. Actually, our Little Princes are going to... Yeah, I was going to say they're going to trade. They would have traded anyway. He goes for the rocket. So I kind of hope he pops the ability. Yeah, he does. And I don't know about that. Nice, okay. Unfortunately, the bats are going to go in front. But really good arrows from me. And if he plays like anything else, like skeletons, I can go for a rage. He does. I'm going to rage it. Perfect. And he pretty much lost his entire tower. Like, that's crazy. Like, what did he do wrong? Like, I guess he popped the ability, but even before then, it's like he had to push into a Sparky, and this dude pretty much lost his entire tower. So that is the power of this deck. Like, that's why it has such a strong win rate. So basically, whatever lane he goes to push into, I'm just going to drop my Sparky into that lane, and he's cooked. So I'm pretty sure this game we can write off as a win, so I'm going to go ahead and cut to the end when we get the dub. So I'll see you over there. Okay, yeah, we ended up getting the 3 crowns, so I saved you a lot of time, so that's a good game. We'll catch you in the next one. All right, into our next match here. And so far, so good. Something that this deck struggles with is it does struggle with like quick cycle decks, to be honest. Like if you go against Log Bait or Hog EQ, like you can kind of lose. But like I said, those decks are more prominent at like top ladder. At least players who play them well, it's more prominent at like top ladder. So he cycled his Little Prince. I'm going to go in the opposite lane. I have my Rage and arrows in hand, so I might be able to support this very, very well. Might just let it go, honestly. Okay, go. He goes for the King Tower activation. That's very valid. No surprise, honestly. And go like this. And then I think my Little Prince is going to take care of his Little Prince, hopefully. Goblins here. Yep. So we pretty much trade damage there. They do get the King Tower activation. Kind of inevitable with when he's running the Fisherman. There wasn't a lot I could do, to be honest. Alright, good to know. So they're running a similar deck. Looks like he has a slightly different variant, though. So we'll go ahead and see what we can do. Fisherman isn't going to get a lot of value against our Barbarians. So that's really, really nice for us. Okay. I am going to cycle my Barbs because... Okay, so he's running it with Recruits. Nice, nice, nice. I'm going to cycle my Barbs because I do want to get to my evolutioned ones quickly. And then I'm going to Little Prince on the side that I have less Barbarians in the hopes of sniping that Firecracker. Come on, come on. Yeah, we're not going to, so I'm going to take my arrows like this. And we're fine. So they're going to be on their evolved Recruits, and I'm going to be on my evolved Barbarians, so... We'll see how that interaction goes down, and we know that his are way more expensive. I think the main thing is we don't want to play our Barbs before that they play their evolved Recruits. Is kind of the main thing. I'm going to be very aggressive here because he did cycle that Little Prince, and I think we can defend very well with our evolved Barbs. Nice. Goes for the Fireball. That's still going to get a ton of damage, actually, so that's awesome for us. Okay, I'm going to go for the Barbs immediately. Hope to DPS down that Little Prince, and we don't, but that's okay. We're going to go for Goblins. We're going to have a nice counter push in both lanes, actually. I'm going to go for the Goblin Giant, and I think that Firecracker was a mistake. Like, I know it kind of did work, but Rage up here. I don't think he can truly defend this. Nice, yeah, 170. Arrows do 111, so not enough. We're going to get ready. He has to go in here, otherwise he loses, so we're going to go for the Sparky. And then we're going to actually split Barbs like this. Beautiful. Yep. And now, there's really, really no way for him to defend, honestly. We're going to get our King Tower activated here. No, we're not. Firecracker hit the Plug Walk. So. Firecracker actually such a nuisance for us, honestly. But if I rage this up, hopefully we can get something. Yeah, we do. So, good game and somewhat of a mirror matchup. I think our variant's better, and I think we proved that. So, good game. Catch you in the next one. Into our next matchup here. And so far, haven't gotten any horrendous matchups. I'm sure you play a lot of Goblin Giant, or maybe you don't, but it's a really, really popular deck. I know on top ladder, when I play with my main deck, I face a lot of Goblin Giant, so it's a very popular deck. This is most likely going to be E-Giant from the first 2 cards. At least that's what it looks like, but I don't know for sure. It's unfortunate that he has the Bowler. Bowler, one of the best cards in the game against the Little Prince, but there are still things that we can do. Okay, he goes like that. I'm going to pressure opposite lane because I don't have the best cards to defend him, honestly. So I need to make him spend. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go Barbs here. And Barbs will clean up everything. He doesn't have a spell. Like, usually when they run Giant, they don't have a Fireball. And also, I was wrong. It wasn't E-Giant. It's like Giant Graveyard or something. I'm going to Arrows here because I want him to have to defend, and then I'm going to play my Bats, mainly so I can get to my evolved ones. Looks like it might be a Giant Graveyard variant. Nice, we get 2 swings from the Barb. It's not nothing. Get ready here if they choose to go in. I don't think they will because they are down a teeny bit of Elixir. Or not down, but they're not up Elixir. Okay. Very nice, very nice. I'm going to Little Prince in the opposite lane. Perfect timing. They cycle the Snowball. Snowball kind of confirms in my mind that it is most likely a Giant Graveyard.
Excuse me.
So I'm going to Goblin Giant into the opposite lane. We're up 2 Elixir currently. Nice. He cycles his Bowler. I'm going to pop my ability first. See if we can DPS down his Little Prince. And I think we will be able to. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Oh, never mind. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to let that go on that side, honestly. Don't want to overcommit. And I'm going to predict a Giant here. I think he's going to go in. Yeah, he does. It's fine with me. He's going to all get DPS down. Like that. Snowballs actually won't take care of those Bats. That's why Evolved Bats are so good. Okay. Evolved Archers are really good too. They're kind of a nuisance, honestly. I'm gonna go like this. And arrows everything. I just want those Archers off the board. Yeah. Those Archers are annoying. Okay, we're gonna pop this early and then go in for our Bats. Nice. He has to go for a defensive Giant. Like, that's actually so fine with me. Rage everything up. And his entire push is pretty much dead here. Yep. Perfect. Go for a defensive Goblin Giant. It's gonna help with everything. And then get ready. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that go, honestly. Okay. Okay. Okay, Little Prince is off the board. He pops his ability, but that's not really gonna do anything. We can go Bats like this. My boy has some split lane pressure to deal with right here. We're going to rage up the Barbarians. Going to be very, very threatening. He's going to have to spend a lot. I'm going to pop the Guardian to maybe get in front of the Sparky. It does not, but that's okay. Sparky, shoot. Yeah, Sparky, huge. And look at how much damage we have on both lanes now, and he hasn't really been able to go in at all. That's awesome for us. We're going to go like this and get ready to arrow something possibly. Yep, good arrows value. Had a feeling he would have to play something else. We're gonna drop a Sparky. Like they just have to spend so much to properly defend you in this matchup. Little Prince is gonna be really, really good on defense. He can go for the Snowball, but you'll notice that doesn't even get the Bats off the board. He has to commit arrows as well. He's basically going all in on this push, but what about defending, you know? I need to overspend here, absolutely. It is what it is. Sparky's gonna get a shot. Oh, almost. Almost gets a shot. But he overspent on that one push, so we're going to absolutely see if we can get a punish here. Arrows, and my boy can't defend. Good game. Giant Graveyard, another kind of like brainless deck, for lack of a better word, but we just outplayed them. So good game to our opponent. We'll catch you in the next one. Cool. Into our next match here. And you don't always want to make the starting move with this deck. You can kind of like wait a second. And then reactively go for cards. I'm going to opt to get my King Tower activated here. He might go for like a Hog or something, but that'd be fine. Like that to activate my King Tower. Yeah. And bold strategy by my boy. I mean, I'm going to rage this so it doesn't like immediately die to the Mother Witch. Yeah, nice. I think my boy's in trouble. Yeah, he gave me arrows value. And I think that's the power of this deck is one mistake and you lose your entire tower. So we're going to go ahead and call that a speed run. Pretty sure I'm going to win this game, so I'll go ahead and cut to the end of the game and save you all some time. Into our next match here against Curd Weiner. In terms of starting plays, you can kind of do whatever you want. Just kidding, don't do whatever you want. Splitting Bats is fine for 2 Elixir. You can cycle to your evolved ones. That's always nice. They're going to help out with this barrel as well. We're going to eat a teeny bit of damage. And then just chill. I'm going to pop the ability because otherwise my Little Prince gets no value. And it usually forces out at least 3 Elixir for a defense. Yeah, so that was 5 Elixir there, which is fine with me. And we're going to take the cannon cart off of the board. So I'm going to go in for my Sparky in the back. I don't expect to get a lot from this push. I really just I'm trying to cycle and take advantage of maybe a slight elixir advantage that we have. Okay, goes in with the flying machine. Makes sense to me. We're going to block that with the Goblin Giant. Nice. And like I said, I don't expect a ton from this push, to be honest, but good NATO by my opponent. But like I said, they spent a lot. Okay, they most likely have clone. So I'm going to block the flying machine. Okay, I messed up a little bit there. I was trying to block the flying machine. So it looks like it's going to be clone. So good and bad. I mean, I actually don't know. There are not a lot of like clone players that I usually play against, especially with this deck. So I'm sure it's a winnable matchup, though. I don't foresee this deck being hard countered by clone. Typically, you get hard countered by like log bait or things like that. Is the typical decks that you would struggle with. I'm gonna go in here and pop my Little Prince on the other side. Should take care of the cannon cart. Nice. Lumberjack Rage is gonna take care of those bats, but that Goblin Giant is still gonna be on the tower. Nice. We have Barbarians for our defense as well, because he's probably going to go in for like... Actually, I'm going to Sparky, and I can Rage on the barrel if he plays it. Okay, so that's off the board. And I'm going to let my Sparky go. I don't really have anything great to support it. Split my Barbarians like so. And then just let that barrel go, honestly. And go for Evo Bats here. Rage all of this up. And split lane is hard for clone because they kind of want to stick to one lane so they can clone it up. But if you look here defensively, he's going to struggle to defend that. That cannon cart gets negated as well. We're going to Sparky into the back, into the lane in which they want to go. Okay. I'm going to pull all of this back. And then get ready to arrows. There's the clone. Yeah, we spotted it right away, right? No surprise. Gonna Rage all of this up, and then get ready with my bats. And my boy, I'd be surprised if he's able to defend this. Yeah, Sparky splashes on the tower. Good game to the clone deck, but wasn't enough. We'll go ahead and catch it in the next one. Into our next match here. If you're feeling crazy with this deck, you can split Barbarians first play. I've seen people do it. I'll go ahead and do it because he played the Goblin Cage. It's a big elixir commitment, but I see people get away with it all the time, even on top ladder. So we're going to split barbs. Those were only... Let's see if we can arrows everything here. Perfect. Yeah, those barbs were at a discount because he played the Goblin Cage first play, so that's fine with me. We're going to Sparky like this. Take care of the Valkyrie. And then I don't expect anything from this push. Like I said, it's kind of just a cycle. It is the same thing, interestingly enough. Okay, I don't have anything to block bridge, so I'm going to Rage my Sparky, and maybe it'll shoot first. Oh. I didn't know that the Sparky left the Sparky with 1 HP. Oops. Okay, we're going to pressure here, because we can defend with our evolved Barbarians. Goes for the NATO. It's fine with me, honestly. Goblin Giant still pretty much takes the entire tower. Arrows here, though. And then we have our Evolved Barbarians. And Fireball doesn't even kill these. He doesn't have NATO. He doesn't have any Elixir right now. Nice. That's going to get a lot of damage, actually, but it's not going to take the tower. So, yeah, bad trade for my boy, absolutely. Typical Golem player, though, right? Like, just don't defend and go for the Golem. But this deck does that even better than they do. So, if you don't like playing against Golem, this might be the deck for you. Yeah, so at this point, I'd be pretty surprised if we lose the game. So I'm going to drop my Little Prince in the back, and I'm going to cut to the end when we clutch up the win. So I'll see you there. And no surprise, we ended up getting the 3 crown against the Golem players. So GG's once again, and we'll see you in the next one. To our next match here. And this is more 3 crowns that I've gotten in my entire life running this deck. I'm going to do it. He cycled a knight, I'll cycle my Barbarians. Yeah, this is a 3 crown heavy deck for sure. If you're ever entering in like a viewer tournament or something and you're trying to get crowns, this deck is pretty good for that. Pretty good. Once the Tesla pops up, I'm going to go for my bats. Played them a little early. It is what it is. I'm going to arrows over here. Take care of all of that. And he might still have to spend some elixir on that. Nah, he won't have to. Okay. Looks like he's running some sort of cycle deck. Yeah, there it is. Okay. We're gonna go in with our Goblin Giant and hope that they can't defend. Nice. Beautiful bats. Rage here on the skeletons. And Hog player takes more damage than they give. No surprise. Yeah, just kidding, just kidding. Beautiful, beautiful. Gonna be ready with the Hog with our Goblins, as well as our Bats. You can't support it with the Firecracker, so Goblins will keep the Hog to only one hit, if that is the case. So we're ready. This deck doesn't have abilities, so you gotta kind of be careful. I might even go with the Barbs because he doesn't have the Firecracker. I'm gonna kind of bait him. I hope he goes in for the Hog. Okay. He's gonna get one Hog hit, I think. Yeah, he goes to the pre-log. He thought. That's why I didn't play the Goblins. Right there. Okay, he's definitely gonna cycle back to like a Firecracker or yeah, rage everything up. This is gonna get obliterated, and I hope we can take care of that Firecracker. We're gonna pre-arrows the skeletons. No, he plays a Knight. Ow. Okay. We will take a King Tower activation though. Still good. And get ready with our Little Prince here for the Hoggy Woggy. You need to be really quick with it. I'm gonna do it. Oh, haha! Great prediction. Oh, and he goes for the log too. I don't know about that, Chief. Okay, we're gonna go like this. Beautiful rage on the skeletons. Always, always, always. Get ready to arrow the Firecracker when it comes down. Beautiful plays. And he has to go for the log, but what about the Little Prince? Goes for the Skellies. No problem. We're just gonna rinse and repeat. No one wants to hog into a Sparky. Just kidding, this guy does. One hog hit is not going to kill us, so we're going to go in like this. Once again, go in for our bats. Rage everything up. He has to go for a last-minute Tesla, not in the spot that he wants. We're going to arrows because we're going to hit something. He has to play something or that takes his tower. So, good game against Hog EQ. If you don't like Hog EQ, this might be the deck for you. GG's, we'll catch you in the next one. Into our next match here against you. And I'm just going to chill. I'm gonna chill. He cycles his Knight. I'm going to cycle my Little Prince. I could have cycled a Sparky, but might be a little too aggressive. Plus, Sparky is a nice little trump card if they don't 100% know that you're running Sparky. I'm going to drop it now. Get ready for the Little Prince. Goes in for the Hog. I'm going to go for my Bats and then get ready with anything else that I need to play. Maybe that'll splash. No, it doesn't. Really well played, actually, by my opponent. Goes for the log. Okay. Another Hog matchup. That's fine with me. We're going to split our Barbs because we found ourselves up a little bit of Elixir, so might as well use it as an excuse to get to our evolved ones. And ooh, Hog Mortar is interesting. I'm going to arrows. I know it looks weird, but I kind of want to DPS down that Mortar because I can't do a ton when he has a Mortar in hand. It takes the Fireball on my Little Prince. Probably well played, honestly. So I'm going to try and keep my Little Prince alive. I'm going to go like this. He doesn't have a Mortar in hand. My Little Prince does live. That's the idea. Nice. And my boy has no Elixir, so we're going to go ahead and give him the sarcastic well played. As you do when you're running Goblin Giant. And I don't know. This is probably going to look like a dub here. Fireball doesn't even kill evolved Barbarians, so no hog hits for you. So as long as we play good defense, we're going to be okay. There's only a minute left, so I think I'm gonna stick this one out. I'm not going to do any cuts. We're going to let this breathe. We're going to threaten the 3 crown because he's defending really badly, honestly. Nice, he has to go for a log. Yeah, and we're in a 3 crown range right now, which is awesome. Interesting that he goes hog into that lane. Like, I think I'm just gonna go for the 3 crown instead. It's not even gonna take my tower. So, good game to my boy. We just outplayed him once we knew they had Hog Rider. He got a little too aggressive with that Mortar. So that's the GG's. We'll catch you in the next one. Alright, into likely our last match of the video. We don't know for sure. And my boy is rocking a Hog Rider banner. And looks like that might be what he's playing, too. Yeah, looks like it's Hog Firecracker, most likely. So we're going to get ready. He probably doesn't want to hog into goblins. Can we predict it? Nah, we can't.
Don't you know who I am?
We tried, though. Gonna go for the Little Prince ability. I think if you play the bats quick enough, you can keep it to only one hit, which is really, really nice. I'm gonna bats early here to DPS this down. It should force out a spell, yeah, or a troop. We're gonna kite 2 of these over, like that, and that's an okay defense once the tower retargets anyway. Cannon gonna get a lot of value. I'm just gonna let it go. Okay, looks like he's not playing Hog. I just assumed he was running Hog, but could be like Hog Earthquake or something. Cannon is not what you want to see. You don't really have a great spell for the cannon, so it's arguably the best building for the deck that we're running. We're going to get ready for a Firecracker. I assume that's going to be coming down. Arrows have such a big radius, so we're going to go like this. We're going to hit the cannon, the tower, and the Firecracker. So a lot of love for the arrows spell here. Little Prince into that Knight. And still don't really know their win condition. I mean, it could just be like spam. But I think there's one card that might be like a trump card that our opponent is yet to play. He goes for that log there. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. We're going to rage everything up. And even a cannon here. No, well placed cannon. Maybe arrows on the skeletons. Nah, we still hit the skelly drags. That's fine with me. That's a ton of damage. I was expecting him to play something else. Maybe now he'll go in for the hog. We'll see. We're going to get our King Tower activated. Huge against the Evolved Firecracker. And I'm still trying to figure out what this dude's cooking with. I really don't know. I'm going to drop my Sparky in the back, though. And just chill, because I don't know what he's running. I really don't. I really don't. Okay. He's dropping a lot of elixir, though. Goes for the Knight. I'm going to go like this. Arrows over here. Sparky pretty much gets taken care of, and so does the rest of our push. He just played a giant skeleton into that Sparky. I think he's crazy for that. Let it be known. Okay. Now I'm just going to reset here. I could be really aggressive. Nice. Really good Little Prince ability. I'm going to play bats here to cycle to my arrows. Beautiful arrows. We're going to have a nice push. I'm going to Evo Barbs in the opposite lane. It's really aggressive, but it's a really good play, honestly, because, yep, the cannon. It blocks the cannon. Bang, bang, bang. DPS down everything. Evo Firecracker going to get a ton of value for him, though, unfortunately. Bats almost take care of it. Yet to figure out what this dude's win condition is. He might not have one, honestly. Sometimes that's a thing. We're in a Goblin Giant and then Goblin Surround on the Evo Cracker to get it off the board. Barely, but we do. Sparky might get a shot. Oh, we could have pre-arrowed if we were crazy, but I guess we're just not. And I'm just trying not to overcommit. I mean, maybe this really is all that this dude's deck is, but it seems kind of weird. Win conditionless deck. Okay. We're gonna... Arrows and hit everything, even the cannon. And the bats are locked on, so we're going to go like this with the rage. Try and cycle back to arrows. We do. And he's cooked. Yep. Really important that we cycle back to the arrows for the Firecracker. And they're completely unable to defend. So good game, really weird deck. But we'll take the dub. And that's going to do it. And that's going to do it for today's video. I hope the sheer number of 3 crowns alone convinced you to try this deck. It's so fun. It's really good. Give it a try. It's pretty easy to play as well. So let me know what you think about this deck in the comments once you give it a try. I appreciate you watching, and I'll go ahead and catch you in another video real soon.